Types of contracts. Bilateral contracts. An agreement that involves a promise, right, or duties from both sides. Most contracts are bilateral with a promisor and a promisee. An example, Livy is looking to buy a car. Tommy is offering to sell his car to Livy for $15,000. Livy accepts Tommy's offer, and Livy gives Tommy the agreed amount of money, and Tommy gives Livy his car. Unilateral contracts. One party makes a promise, and the other party can accept the promise by only doing the act specified by the promisor. A party completes the act for the promisor, who is the other contracting party. Livy lost her dog, Poppy. The family put up lost dog signs with a reward up. Tommy saw the lost dog signs with the reward for $100 and started looking for Poppy. Tommy found Livy's dog, Poppy, and collected the $100. Express contracts. A contract where one or more parties enter a contract where the terms are clearly expressed and stated. This can either be an oral or written contract. An example being, Company A and Company B have a written deal for Company B to deliver 100 pounds of flour every 2 weeks for $250. Both companies sign the contract. What makes this an express contract is because they have a clear stated terms between them. Company A receives 100 pounds of flour every 2 weeks and pays Company B for delivering that $250. Implied contracts. A contract where one or more parties enter a contract with the terms not so explicitly stated and are left to be inferred by the conduct and actions of the involved parties. This can either be an oral or written contract. Example, Livy calls a roofer. The roofer comes and fixes a couple shingles on the roof. The terms of the contract weren't clearly stated between them, but the roofer will be paid for his work. Quasi-contracts. Quasi-contracts don't have official written or spoken agreements. They're more of an obligation imposed by the law. When looking at quasi-contracts, courts make sure that there are no party being unjustly enriched. Example, Livy's neighbor called a landscaper to clean up their lawn, but the landscapers went to Livy's house by mistake. Livy never had contact with the landscaping company and didn't say anything when she saw them cutting her lawn. Even though there was no contract or contact, a contract is implied and Livy would have to pay for the landscaping. Executed and executory contracts. An executed contract is where all the parties involved in the contract have completed their obligations to the contract. When a contract is executed, the parties have no legal obligations under that contract. Livy and Tommy's contract to have Tommy fix the window is executed when the window is fixed and Livy pays Tommy for the work. An executory contract is when one or more of the parties have not fully completed their contractual duties, and the duties that have not been executed are expected to be done because it is still an ongoing contract. Livy and Tommy's contract to have Tommy fix the window is not fully completed because, say, Tommy didn't get the window in time. So the contract is executory. Valid contracts. A valid contract is a legally binding and enforceable by law agreement between two or more parties. A contract is valid if it contains all the required elements for a contract: offer, acceptance, consideration, capacity, and legality. Parties to a valid contract are legally obligated to complete their contractual duties. An example, Livy emails Tommy to offer him her signed baseball for $100. Tommy emails Livy back and tells her he accepts her offer. The example, as short as it is, shows a fair offer, $100 for a signed baseball. Tommy emailed back that he accepts the deal. Both parties showed consideration because they are both getting a benefit and suffering a detriment. When it comes to capacity, it is automatically presumed by the courts unless proven otherwise. The contract is also not against any laws or against public policies, so all 5 elements are present, making it a legal and valid contract. Void contracts. A void contract is a contract missing one or more of the necessary elements required to make a contract valid. If a contract is void, No involved parties have any legal obligations. Livy makes an offer to Tommy to steal a car for her, and she'll pay him $1,000. Tommy accepts the deal. This is a void contract. It may have a valid offer from Livy to have Tommy steal a car for $1,000, and Tommy accepted the deal, but this deal is lacking in legality because it is illegal to steal a car. Voidable contracts. A contract that can be avoided by one or both parties involved. The contract can change and become only enforceable to one party and unenforceable to another. Example, Livy offers to sell Tommy, a 17-year-old, her used car for $10,000. Tommy accepts the deal and pays Livy her money. A little after buying the car, Tommy decides he wants to avoid the contract. He gave Livy her car back, and she gave him his money back. This is a voidable contract for Tommy because he is a minor and has the legal right to avoid the contract even after acceptance. Unenforceable contracts. Unenforceable contracts are valid contracts but have a legitimate legal defense. Common defenses are statute of limitations and lack of capacity. An example, Livy and Tommy had a deal that Livy was supposed to collect money from, but she waited too long to collect. The statute of limitations had passed, which means time ran out for Livy to collect the money that she was owed.